What up, David here with more Danganronpa IF. 3 seconds left. Till what? Amid the smoke, flames, and heat encircling the hallway, it burst through with the speed of a cannon shell. It glared at Monokuma with hot boiling eyes that betray the icy expression on its face, and then, sharply, swiftly, strongly, it transformed into a living weapon that cuts through everything, revealing its true form in that Hall of Despair. 2 seconds left. Okay, we going JoJo here? I've never even seen JoJo, but I know that one scene. Monokuma, who was still holding the metal bar in his hands, tried to move, but at that exact moment, the living weapon carved a path through the flames that appeared before him. Its body, which has never been wounded on any battlefield, was sustaining all manner of burns and injuries. But even so, it did not falter. The fire in its eyes never flickered once. 1 second left. The living weapon, Mukuro, slammed her knee into the back of the metal bar Monokuma was holding. The sharp tip of the metal bar pierced Monokuma like a rail spike, shredding the detonator and his power source into pieces. Time's up. The 100 explosions ceased and smoke blanketed the hallway. Mukuro dived? Is dived the right word for that? Into Monokuma, and the pristine escape button now rested in her hand. Another escape button! She and the students of Hope Speak Academy, it's been like a week and some change since I recorded the last one. That's why I'm like kind of piecing back together where we were. But I remember now, it was the wall of Monokuma is about to blow the place sky high. And then Mukuro did her thing. It was only a small amount of despair. Monokuma had tasted it in only 3 seconds. Oh, I could have ended it. First floor, hallway, but of course I have to go for the cliffhanger. Junko. Mukuro looked down at Monokuma. He could no longer move or self-destruct. When she spoke to him, a static-filled voice emitted from his mouth. It seemed his communication function still worked.
Hoo 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 hoo. I never expected you to do that.
He still sounded like Monokuma. It seems his voice modulator was unharmed as well.
I must have overestimated you. I never thought you'd need anybody's help on the battlefield. When I give the signal, please launch me forward with a roundhouse kick.
Oh, whoops! When I give the signal, please launch me forward with a roundhouse kick. Mukuro whispered these words to Sakura just before the explosion started. After Mukuro threw the metal bar, she jumped into the air at the exact moment Sakura unleashed a roundhouse kick. Right when Sakura's foot made contact with her own, Mukuro used the force generated by her kick to propel herself at Monokuma. Using the ultimate martial artist's superhuman attack like a springboard, she saw herself through the air like an artillery shell. Enduring intense heat, shrapnel, and blood-draining G-force, she stayed conscious as she charged through the hallway, engulfed with explosions and despair. Mukuro trusted Junko. She trusted Junko to predict that she'd throw the metal bar and catch it accordingly. She tried to look at her face as despair sets in. The Junko and Ashima she knew would definitely do that. Although Mukuro hadn't predicted that her sister would try to kill her with the spears of Gungnir, she had a better understanding of her actions now. Mukuro stared at Monokuma in his face. All he could do was laugh scornfully.
You put your life in someone else's hands for a deadly battle? I don't know how I feel about that. You'll always be a half-assed disappointment. I guess this time I'll say I lost, just because I didn't see this much disappointment coming. The end. The end.
Mukuro shook her head at Monokuma. No! That's wrong! Sorry. Makoto must be rubbing off on me. No, you're wrong, Junko.
Huh?
If you want to talk about winning or losing, I think we lost before we even started. Okay, you're starting to sound like Makoto. Mukuro's eyes shifted from side to side, as if she was unsure of something. She fidgeted in place. She continued to talk. No matter how much despair they felt, you didn't think they'd kill each other the way they were before. That's why you erased their memories. They aren't like the others you forced in the past. You knew these students would never do it. That's what you believed, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
So, it's okay, Junko. I'll bring back everyone's memories someday, and I'll show you everyone's happiness and their bonds. I'll show all that to you, and fill you with even more despair. Mukuro nodded after she said this, as if to cheer her sister up. After several seconds of silence, Monokuma responded.
You finally beat me this one time, and that lame speech is the best you can do? You're such a disappointment. You'll never you know what I'm saying? You'll never fill me with despair. It's just constant disappointment.
After pouting like a sore loser, Monokuma continued to speak in his usual tone. Oh, I didn't know he wasn't using his usual tone.
But you guys will be back. And when that time comes, I'll invite you guys to a wonderful place. I found out about this fun little island while I was running things here. Boo-hoo-hoo! Boo-hoo-hoo! Wow!
Monokuma's laughter filled the room before the static finally cut out and his remains fell silent. He wouldn't be talking again anytime soon.
That's what you think!
The mastermind was already preparing a new despair to bring the world and to the students of Hope's Big Academy, Junko included. What? Her. Oh, wow, we're still not confirming that it's her. In the end, the mastermind stayed in her Monokuma personality until the very end, and Junko Enoshima never showed her face again. It was as if she resented the despair Mukuro had given her. That thought almost filled Mukuro with despair. But when she heard her classmates calling for her, she sealed that despair into the depths of her heart. From now on, she would seal away all her despair. And one day, when she can give Junko the perfect despair, she'll unleash all the despair she stored and plunge with her sister into a dark abyss. I won't leave my little sister alone. In the end, that was the first hope the disappointing older sister had felt since she was a child. Several hours later, at the main entrance. Mukuro, are you really going out wearing that wig? After receiving a blood transfusion of the correct blood type, Mukuro was beginning to show signs of recovering. Who found out and how? We don't have a freaking Mikan over here. Mukuro, holding her wig to disguise herself as Junko Enoshima, nodded. Unless he knew his own blood type, then it would be fine. If I live as Junko, I may be able to understand her better. Despite that, Mukuro's voice still sounded like her own, as if she hadn't fully decided. And I've made up my mind. While I'm out there, I've decided I'll accept everyone's hatred towards me, and towards Junko. I can't die until I've destroyed all the despair that Junko spread. Girl, you got your work cut out for ya! The damage that ultimate despair inflicted upon the world could not be measured in terms of money, culture, or even human life. Television broadcasts had already begun informing people that Junko Enoshima and Mukuro Ikusaba were the heart of the ultimate despair. Among the survivors in the outside world, there are still people who hadn't been tainted by despair yet. Regardless of the fact that she released Mikoto and the others, to these survivors she was nothing more than the reason the world ended. And to the terrorists wearing Monokuma mask who continued to ravage the world, Mukuro was nothing but a traitor. She was now in the hopeless situation of being enemies with most of humanity. But Mukuro wasn't making a big deal of it. I'm going to try not to kill anyone who comes after me for revenge. Wouldn't it be safer just to turn yourself in? Wondered Yasuhiro. I hope I never have to deal with them in the same scene together, Yasuhiro and Kazuichi. Well, you might just get executed instead. But you could live to be an old lady if your child keeps getting pushed back. Mukuro slowly shook her head at Yasuhiro. Laws, justice, these things no longer exist. Is it really that bad out there? Maybe we should just stay here. Byakuya glared at Yasuhiro with contempt. Ignorant idiots should just shut up. Your fate won't change whether you stay in here or not. I'm using the ultimate imposter voice. Though he was shocked to learn that the Togami Corporation had been destroyed, Byakuya continued to remain firm and proud, even towards Mukuro. You are a rare asset, continued Byakuya, so I will let you live for now. Byakuya, have you even killed anyone? He may have. Depending on your actions, I may consider forgiving your crimes after I've built a new world. Only a Togami would boast if they are capable of forgiving the crime of ending the world. Weird, I thought I heard a knock on my door, but it was a lie! Oh, you don't need to do that. I don't plan on just surviving. After turning away from Byakuya, Mukuro looked at the other students. Everyone was reacting in their own way. Kyoko had a look of quiet preparation. Toko, having just changed back from genocide, Jack was panicked and confused. Did no one die? Wow, no one died. Mukuro looked back on the last 2 years she spent with them, and turned to Makoto, who shared the same memories as her, and gave him the escape button. Makoto, you press it. Huh? Me? I think it's better if you press it instead of me. As she watched Makoto accept the button with some hesitation, Mukuro thought about what Monokuma had said.
You guys will be back.
Mukuro knew that Monokuma was telling the truth. After all, the file the students needed to fully restore their lost memories remained hidden in the academy. Oh, really? I didn't know that. The research notes of Yasuke Matsuda, the ultimate neurologist. Okay. His research is the key to restoring everyone's memories. Even if the students no longer have their memories, they may be able to repair the bonds they had built amongst themselves over the past 2 years. But as long as their memories remain unrestored, the mastermind could still repeat her deadly plan. Although the island mentioned earlier sounded strange, students could not turn their backs on the despair facing them. Then let's go. But the island in the game was virtual, so is there a real one that replicates it? Makoto remembered everything that was happening in the outside world. The boy who had chosen to remain inside the academy 2 years ago was now choosing to leave. How much did he struggle to come to that decision? But he was determined to face the despair awaiting him outside, and hid his internal conflict from the others. By protecting Makoto's hope, Mukuro would bring despair to her beloved sister. But she no longer knew if the end result of her goal would lead to hope or despair. She pulled the wig over her head and hid her face with her hands. Was she smiling because hope was waiting for her? Was she crying because her path would lead to despair? When she lowered her hands, her face was devoid of all emotion. Mukuro no longer knew what expression she should wear on her face. At the same time, Makoto pressed the escape button. A siren began to wail as the turrets retracted into the ceiling. From beyond the heavy door, a bright light appeared. An infinite number of ifs, and all the possibilities contained therein encased the world. Accepting everything, hope, despair, and even the feelings of that disappointing girl, Mukuro Ikusaba. Oh, that's it? Oh, what are we doing here? They made a video for it. I mean, granted, I'm sure they had all these assets already. I think these are the same assets they use in the gymnasium. Yo, Mukuro looks fire again. Is it effed up for me to be in love with the Mukuro that's pretending to be Junko? That's weird. I'll admit that's weird. Alright. So, I got some closure, I guess. But that's it! That's Danganronpa 0. Or, sorry. No, that's Danganronpa IF. I'm not reading Danganronpa 0. So, we're not thinking about that. Because I gotta play Despair Girls. And I gotta react to that damn show that I've been dying to watch since I watched the first anime. But soon. When I'm going to do Ultra Despair Girls, I don't know. I'm just gonna drink out of my coffee cup. Anywho, I'm gonna end it off here. That was pretty fun. I liked that a lot. So this is a little bit of a short one, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this entire series, and I'll see y'all in my next video. For now, I hope you're enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. I know probably no one cares about that, but it's one of my favorite games from my childhood, so I've been loving it. But for now, I'm going to end it all here. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, smack the bell so you never miss a thing. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, Bladed Cross, for supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you all in the next one. For now, this is Dave out. Peace out. Later.